What's up, everybody? Eddie Jackson, Chief Recipe Officer for Beef Loving Texas. Now, it's known that I love food, fitness, and of course, football. And my motto is to keep it fun, fast, and of course, we gotta keep it delicious. And I'm back in my kitchen today with another amazing recipe. Today's focus, brandy short ribs. Such a beautiful cut of meat. Not really big, but boy, does it pack a punch. Look at all that marbling inside that short rib. That is flavor, my friends. To get started, just give it a little drizzle of olive oil. Like I always say, salt and pepper is beef's best friend. Hit it with some salt and some pepper, and make sure you season both sides. Now it's time to sear, and this is a very important step because that's gonna ensure you have a nice sturdy crust and we don't lose a lot of that seasoning once we submerge it into the liquid. So you know that your oil is ready when you put your short ribs in and you hear this. That's what you want to hear, right? So we're gonna look at about 3 minutes per side. We want to really brown sear on the outside of these short ribs. When you sear any kind of meat, you don't want to move it around. You just want to leave it in contact with the bottom surface of your pan, right? See what I'm saying? This is what you want. What we're doing now is just rinsing out that fat, locking in all of that seasoning and locking in all of the juices. So we're gonna flip this and do the same thing on the other side. About 3 minutes. Okay, so I have all of my short ribs seared off, right? So now it's time to start making this delicious braising liquid. I feel like onions is always the first step in any recipe when you're talking about making a broth. The onions really give it flavor, really gives it a depth. And we're gonna let these kind of go down and kind of get translucent. It's gonna take about 2 to 3 minutes. And hit this with a little bit of salt. Add in my tomato paste. So you wanna go ahead and work that into the oil and the onions and get it nice and melted. And it's gonna coat the onions as well. So we're gonna add in a little bit of beef base. Beef base is just super concentrated and rich kind of beef flavoring. As soon as it hits the pan, it smells like a beef party in here. Now we can add our garlic. You never wanna add the garlic at the same time as the onion because garlic is so delicate and it burns very, very easily and it can ruin your recipe, right? You never wanna burn your garlic. You can go ahead and start building this braising liquid. We're gonna add in our carrots. We're gonna sprinkle in some celery. And now what we can do is start arranging the short ribs. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna add liquid, so they're gonna float around. You just wanna make sure that when you add your liquid, that they're pretty much 3/4 of the way submerged. I mean, come on, look at that crust right there. That's what you want. You can see that salt, you can see that pepper on the outside of that short rib. So I'm gonna add in the beef broth, about 2 cups. We're gonna add in a 1/2 cup of some good Cabernet. I have some thyme, I have some oregano right here, and I'm gonna add in some fresh bay leaf. I mean, it's already smelling good. That's what I'm talking about. All my ingredients are in. Now it's time to place my lid on this Dutch oven. And these bad boys are going in the oven for 325 degrees, 2 hours to 2.5 hours. All right, so my short ribs are out of the oven. Now it's time to make our brandy sauce. So what I've done is I've taken about a cup of the braising liquid out of our Dutch oven, and that's gonna be the base for this brandy sauce. We don't want it to come to a boil at this point right now. We're gonna add in our brandy. We just wanna whisk this. So now we're getting to a simmer right here. We wanna go ahead and add in our heavy cream. And we're just gonna give this a whisk. Perfect. Season it with just a little bit of salt. These are whole black peppercorns. All we're doing is just cracking them open to release some of those natural oils that's inside of that black pepper. And we're gonna add this right to our sauce. And we're just gonna give everything a quick mix. You get some air in there, it'll keep the sauce from boiling over. So this is gonna go for about another minute and we'll be ready to eat. Now it's time to drape these babies in that delicious brandy sauce we made. You can smell that rich, flavorful broth, that wine, beef broth, the bay leaves, the oregano. How easy and simple was that? That is it for this Beef Loving Texan. If you want more delicious recipes, go to beeflovingtexans.com.